should probably have met with Mitch before his speech because we do share the same perception on technology, its time and its place. Today I look back at education. I do teach math for a university. I teach foundational math classes to adults. Now I'd like to take you down memory lane. Think about when you were 4 years old, going to school for the first time. Some it may have been 20 years, others so many years back, but think about that day when you went to school. Your learning process, how did you learn the alphabets? How did you learn how to count? How did you learn how to add and subtract? Just 2 or 3 years later, when you learned how to multiply, do you remember memorizing your multiplication tables or your timetables? Almost making a song out of them so that you remember them? Getting embarrassed if you got it wrong when the teacher gave out a pop quiz? Fast forward to when you're in high school, when you have algebra questions, and you have a whole page that you have to go through these calculations, and you have to show your work. If you don't show your work, you're probably going to be wrong. If you have the right answer and the wrong one, you're probably wrong anyway. Now let's fast forward. Many of us have kids. If we don't have kids who are at school going right now, we have grandkids, or we have nephews and nieces. Think about how they are learning. How are they learning their alphabets? They probably have a tablet or an iPad. Besides it, and the child repeats after that iPad. We have taken that personal touch from educating our children. Think about their papers. Do they need to learn how to spell anymore? What's the point? They have spell check, they have autocorrect. And they have texting messages, they have texting language that we use. Everything has been reduced or been summarized in 3-letter words that I do not understand for the life of me. But why do they need to learn how to spell now with autocorrect and with spell check? Why do they need how to learn how to multiply when their math is done on a computer in class? When they have a calculator right there for them to do that calculation? Are they learning how to multiply anymore? When I teach my classes, I have an age group anywhere between 20 and I'll say about 50, 60-year-olds. The biggest discrepancy I have noted is math is difficult for everyone, isn't it? When you tell someone you teach math, they always go, "Ooh, you teach math, really?" But teaching math is never a problem when people understand the basic concept. If you don't know your multiplication tables, how will I be able to teach you to understand the correlation between a problem and how you're getting to your answer? If I ask you 7 times 3 and you have to go back to a calculator to calculate that, what have we done to our children? What have we done to our society? Technology has its place. It always does. Mitch has said it and I agree with him 100%. But as the parents, as the society, what are we doing to our children by taking them down a path of technology only in education? Aristotle once said that if a student has failed to learn, then as a teacher you failed to teach. As a society, are we failing to teach our children? Are we taking away that opportunity for them to have basic life skills that will allow them to not just be able to go in and get a job, not to just go in and be able to be productive in the society, but to be able to manage their lives, to balance their own checkbooks? How many 20, 25-year-olds today can balance a checkbook? How many know how to go down and track their transactions? How many can spell words comfortably without spell check? A recent study that was done by the University of Michigan states that your average student going into college as a freshman can barely read at an 8th grade level. Think about that. If you're in a hospital bed tomorrow, the person who is going to be your nurse or your doctor has the possibility that they can barely read at an 8th grade level. That's the person doing your prescription. That's the person checking your heart monitor. And that's the person deciding on your treatment. Is that the society that we decide that we want for our children tomorrow? Is that the life we want for ourselves in the future? Are those the people we want to see leading us? Technology has its place, and trust me, it develops every day and it fascinates me. But when we take away that personal touch from education, when we take away that person who looks at a child studying and realizes that they don't get it, when we take away that personal touch from that educational piece, we are taking away from the society. And we as educators are failing to educate the children, and that's why they have failed to learn. It is our fault as a society, as opposed to the children who go through a system that we have created. We build on a premise of no child left behind. Marking for the school district, I think I hear it close to 50 times a day. It's in almost every paper that I pull out for the district. But when we say no child left behind, is it really no child left behind? Think about it. Is it really? If all I will do to your child as a teacher is give them more assignments to complete online, today I urge you, if you have your nephew or your niece studying there by themselves, or if they have homework on their computer, or you have your daughter or your son trying to do this, or even your grandchildren, please take a minute, educate them, help them learn the multiplication table. Let us take the responsibility of being good teachers so that our students can learn. Thank you.